Hey everyone, Theo here. Today I'm going to give you my long-term review of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, which I have been using for 3 months. I'm going to be talking about the issues that I have experienced, things like user experience, battery life, and whether this is worth the upgrade compared to the Tab S7 Plus. By the way, if you have not watched my 22-minute long artist review, maybe you can watch that first because that's the full review, and this video that you're watching is the update review. Let me give you the bottom line up front. This is definitely the best Android tablet out there right now, and one of the best tablets alongside the Apple M1 iPad Pro and the Microsoft Surface Pro 8. However, I cannot say that this tablet is better than the iPad Pro or the Surface Pro 8, or the iPad Pro and the Surface Pro 8 are better compared to the Tab S8 Ultra, because these three tablets, they run on different platforms, and the variety of apps, the type of apps you can install and use on these three tablets, they are different. Having said that, I am extremely satisfied with this purchase, and my recommendation to you is to choose the tablet based on the apps that you want to use. There are many capable and wonderful drawing apps available on Android from the Google Play Store. The main limitation of Android is the lack of graphic design apps such as Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, Affinity Photo, and Affinity Designer, which is why my recommendation is to choose the tablet based on the apps you want to use. Let's talk about user experience. This tablet is 728 grams without the keyboard case, and it's heavy. Together with the keyboard case, it feels like you are using a laptop because of the 14.6-inch screen and this huge keyboard case. So I usually use the tablet in this laptop form factor, and when I am drawing, I will detach the tablet from the keyboard case and use the tablet flat on the table or on a stand. I cannot draw on this tablet with the kickstand deployed like this, even when I hold the tablet, because when I draw and press down, the kickstand is going to slide down. So this kickstand is just strong enough to prop up the tablet, nothing more. And due to the design of this keyboard case, you can't really use it on your lap because this will cut into your thighs, and this is flimsy. So if you use this on your lap, it's going to shake a lot. I used to dislike this design where the pen is stored behind the tablet, but now I actually like this design because it's very functional. So when you have the tablet on the table like this, the pen props up the tablet, making it so easy to lift the tablet up. When you want to reach for the pen, it's just behind. You can store the S Pen here, but I rarely do that. So I always keep it here, and it's very convenient. This design can let you detach the tablet very quickly, very easily from the keyboard. And even if the pen is on the other side like this, you can still pick up the tablet and pull the tablet away very easily, so that you can use this tablet in tablet form factor. However, due to the weight, I actually rarely use a tablet this way because it's quite heavy when you're holding it, even with two hands. I've actually dropped this tablet 2 times in the first week of using it because the tablet is so thin, it's big, and it's heavy. It's more difficult to handle compared to smaller tablets. And thankfully, I dropped the tablet on soft surfaces, so I did not crack the screen or dent the corners. So now whenever I handle this tablet in the tablet form factor, I am extremely careful. In my full review, I mentioned there was this issue with the touchpad going to sleep. So when you want to use the touchpad, you have to touch it once to activate it and touch it again so that the cursor can move. Samsung has issued a firmware to solve that problem, so now the touchpad is always on and there is no longer the sleep issue. This keyboard case is actually quite well designed, just that the build quality isn't that solid, so when you flex it like this, sometimes you can hear the touchpad clicking. Other than the issue with the build quality, I really enjoy typing on this keyboard. All the function button shortcuts are very useful, such as these 3 buttons here where you can quick launch apps. There are also shortcuts for settings, print screen, SamsungDex. So I use these shortcuts very often. They are very useful. The one thing about this keyboard that affects productivity is this backspace button, which is too wide. So even after using this tablet for more than 3 months, when I want to type equal or plus, I will hit the backspace button occasionally, and it is very frustrating. Let me show you some issues I experience with web browsing. Many of the issues and the confusion I face comes down to using the tablet in tablet mode together with the keyboard and touchpad. So if you want to use the keyboard and touchpad, it's best to switch over to the SamsungDex mode. So right now I'm using the keyboard and touchpad. Let's open up the web browser. So if I try to use my cursor to right click here, nothing happens. I want to be able to copy this link, but I cannot right click because this is in tablet mode. So to get the contextual menu, I have to tap and hold the link or the text. And now I've just switched over to SamsungDex mode. You can tell by the taskbar at the bottom. So now when I use my cursor, I can actually right click and get the contextual menu. I can still use my finger to tap and hold and get the contextual menu. So the features and the workflow are going to be different depending on whether you're using the tablet in tablet mode or in SamsungDex mode, and I find that to be confusing sometimes. I mean, even in tablet mode, I wish I can just right click and get the contextual menu, but I can't. Another issue I have with web browsing is when you are watching YouTube videos on the YouTube website on the web browser, the window has to be active for the video to play. Sometimes I just want to listen to the YouTube video, but I want to do work on other web pages. But if I switch to another web page, the YouTube video in the background is going to stop playing. With SamsungDex, it's the same. You can have the web browser playing YouTube videos in the background. In this case, the window is still considered active. However, if you make this window in front full screen, the YouTube video in the web browser is going to stop playing. So the workaround here is just use the YouTube app. I have nothing against the YouTube app, it's just that I prefer to use YouTube on the web browser where I get to use all the keyboard shortcuts. You know how sometimes when you load a web page and it gives you the mobile site? The only web browser that I know of that can convert mobile sites to desktop sites 100% all the time is Opera. With Samsung Internet, Microsoft Edge, Chrome, sometimes the conversion from mobile to desktop site just doesn't work. There are other instances where the user experience will differ depending on whether you're using tablet mode or SamsungDex mode. And due to the difference in user experience, it can be quite confusing because sometimes when you're looking for a certain feature to use, you can't use it because that feature is only available in the other mode. For example, let's say I want to open an app. I can use the shortcut to call up the app drawer. I can type the name of the app, and when I press enter, nothing happens. This is SamsungDex mode. Let's switch over to the other mode, the tablet mode. In tablet mode, I'm going to press the same shortcut button to call up the app drawer, and I'm going to look for an app, and I cannot search for the app because I need to tap on the search box first before I can search for the app, and here I can press enter to open the app, but I can't do that with the SamsungDex app drawer shortcut. It's actually not that easy to get used to the differences of tablet mode and SamsungDex mode workflow. For example, when you are using a web browser in full screen, it may not be immediately obvious that you are actually using tablet mode. And when you want to right click to copy a link, you can't because this is not SamsungDex mode and you look at the bottom here, there's no SamsungDex taskbar, and then you realize, oh, I cannot copy a simple link because this is not in SamsungDex mode. Let's talk about Samsung's second screen feature, which allows you to use the Samsung tablet as a wireless external display to your Windows computer. So when you use this as an external display and you use it in extended desktop mode, you can actually move or drag one window from one display to the other, and this is very useful. This can improve productivity significantly. In my full review, I mentioned the black bars at the top and bottom because this is 16:9 content used on a 16:10 display. The workaround or the fix to fill the whole screen is to install the second screen app, which you can find from the Microsoft App Store. After you install the app, you will have different display resolutions which are available, and one of those options would be to fill the whole screen. So now there are no black bars at the top and bottom. By the way, you cannot use the Samsung keyboard and touchpad to work with Windows. You have to use the Windows keyboard and touchpad to work here. The last thing I want to talk about is battery life. I'm using this app called IQ Battery Pro to get some statistics on the battery. There's a free and paid version of this app. This app is really worth the money. You can see the charging speed, the discharging speed. You can set when to stop charging the battery, and you also get battery health information. So based on my usage with the tablet with auto brightness, I'm usually above 50% brightness. The battery life, the total battery life that I can get is around 6 hours and 40 plus minutes. And based on my personal experience, this battery time estimate by the app is quite accurate. The battery life for this tablet is alright. At maximum brightness, I can get 6 hours of use, which is longer than the 5 hours of use I can get with the M1 iPad Pro at maximum brightness. With auto brightness, I can get an average of 7 hours, which is similar to the M1 iPad Pro at auto brightness, which is also 7 hours. Should you upgrade from Tab S7 Plus to Tab S8 Ultra? Probably not, unless you really want the larger display, because there is nothing the Tab S8 Ultra can do that the Tab S7 Plus cannot. The advantage of having a larger display when it comes to productivity is with a larger display and more resolution, you can show more content, and this will benefit people who use apps that have user interface elements that take up a lot of space on the display. For example, with Clip Studio Paint, you can have palettes on the left and right side. You can even have another column of palettes and still get a good amount of canvas space left for drawing. However, when you are using an app that has minimal user interface elements such as concepts, the productivity gains is not going to be as obvious compared to using apps that have a lot of palettes and user interface elements. Because you can actually use this app on a smaller tablet and you can still get a good amount of canvas space to work with. However, if you use Clip Studio Paint on a smaller tablet, the palettes are going to take up more space proportionally compared to the canvas space. If you are using apps that can take advantage of the larger display and higher resolution, it may be worth the upgrade. Or if you can find very good trade-in deals from Samsung, it may be worth the upgrade. But if you are buying this tablet mostly to watch videos on a larger display, it's like you're buying the same tablet twice, just that this is a larger tablet. Anyway, that's just my take. Alright, I hope this video is helpful. Thanks for watching. See you guys again. Bye.